Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next game, a round of 16. It's gonna be Hodor Esports versus Team Vulcan. Hodor Esports should be on the left-hand side of your screen. First pick, first bat.
Team Vulcan on the right-hand side. Hodor Esports gonna ban away Cirquet, and Team Vulcan will get rid of Zhangui. Hodor returns with the Hubwa ban, so pretty standard bans for EU. We haven't seen that Cirquet ban too much, but she's definitely strong. Let's talk about the Team Vulcan roster, players you might recognize. You got Solana, formerly of Walk It Off, replaced by Sayo, which honestly worked out really well for Walk It Off, now Mortality. Yaman was he was playing in the beginning of the SWC on Team Spray, which was Fex's team. You've got Getfisher, who played with Ristarian as a Joust guy, and Maywood is a EU 3v3 player of you know what his team name is?
I don't know threes
The
at all.
Cret Fanboys.
Okay, well
That's actually his team.
I'm guessing Maywood is probably the worst player on that team then,
Yeah,
because he's a
probably,
Cret
yeah.
fanboy.
Yeah,
No offense,
yeah.
Maywood, but if you like Cret, you've got some issues, and that's the biggest issue there. Mercury going to be the first pick for Hodor Esports. That did get through thanks to the new war being banned away by Team Vulcan, and now
Team Vulcan gonna pick up Geb Yanis. Nice second round picks. Yanis is very strong, and Yaman's a very strong mid laner. Can't wait to see what they can do with Geb either, just to keep their carries alive. Athena obviously picked for Hodor. When one team picks Geb, the other team picks Athena, unless you're Frezzy, and then you pick Ymir under all circumstances. Rom also locked in for Hodor Esports. So what are your thoughts on an Athena Rom lane up against Geb?
Athena Rom's not a bad lane at all, honestly, overall. It works out well because Athena can rotate away, leave Rama alone, and when Rama does get in trouble, he can use his ultimate to buy himself some time, or he can be pre-channeled with Athena's ultimate, then take to the sky himself, so he's not taking any damage, and Athena just appears where Rama was. It's brilliant. It's a genius little trick you can do with it. Against Geb, overall, Geb's going to have a hard time in that lane early on. Geb has a hard time anyway, and what a surprise, though. What a surprise. We saw Vulcan being picked up by
Team Vulcan.
Team Vulcan.
Shocking. Didn't see that one coming. Aphrodite will be banned away. Thor as well. The ban option goes back to Team Vulcan. You know what I love about Vulcan? First of all, really mechanically intensive character. Sort of similar to a mage version of Anhur, where if you kind of hit all your stuff, the character is infinitely better than he otherwise is. Different from just missing on a normal character. It's all about the combos, using your abilities at the right time, and the damage Vulcan can do late game is absolutely unreal. He ends up being basically a ranged Hubwa.
Well, with the counterbalance coming out as well, now we saw Aphrodite taken off the table as well as Thor, so as a jungle focus. Getfisher is looking like it's going to be Fenrir, is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to be that Fenrir locked in. Hodor Esports moving for Agni Ra. We've seen a lot of Ra lately, and what do you think of Ra with this team composition?
Ra's one of the safest gods in the game. Let's put it that way. For one of the safest solo laners in the game, or mid laners, he can generally farm safely under a tower, build up stacks if he decides to go for a Warlock Sash or a Book of Toth. And then as the game goes on, you know, he's not going to really get ganked too easily unless you overextend and make a mistake. Then you put out some decent damage. So it's one of those picks where if you don't like what you're going to be laning against Cret, you kind of pick Ra and, you know, just farm.
Yeah, and it really does work out. Very versatile pick. Hodor Esports going to be running Ra, Athena, Ram, Agni, Mercury up against Vulcan, Yanis, Fenrir, Geb. We'll be back with your next round match in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned. Hodor Esports versus Team Vulcan.
Welcome back, everyone, to the round of 16. It's Hodor Esports versus Team Vulcan. Hodor Esports going to be starting on the bottom side of the map, the left-hand side of your spectator UI. We're going to see Jermaine playing Rama, Snacking playing Agni in middle lane. Tin's going to be in the solo lane playing Ra, User Dead as Mercury in the jungle, and Dardez as Athena in the support role.
On the other side of the map, it's Team Vulcan. Getfisher playing Fenrir in the jungle. Arn King playing Uller as the hunter role. You got Yaman in the middle lane on Yanis, Maywood in the support role as Geb,
Fight!
and
Let's go.
Solana as Vulcan in the solo lane.
Let's go. No? Okay.
No.
Just gonna look at each other. Back out.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
first blood 30 seconds in. I am disappointed in this game. Sorry, minus 30 seconds in, I should say.
To be fair, for Team Vulcan, there's just no reason to fight level 1. They don't have a good level 1. Why even leave a tower? And they're not going to. Maywood is just trolling around. He's going to drop a few wards, but he's got multi-pots, so he'll be okay. Doesn't necessarily have the information to ensure that he's not being invaded, but I think he's going to get lucky, and I don't think Team Vulcan will try for that invade.
Top super safe start, as we said. Actually, a bit of a change up to that. No, we're right. I was getting confused with myself. So, nothing unusual really at the start. Going to see Solano starting off with the buff at Getfish's speed buff there. Giannis going to be taking the left camps. Geb starting at his blue. Nothing too unusual to begin with. The one thing we've not seen though, Cret, is like this sort of style that we've seen a lot out of the NA scene yesterday, where the jungler starts off at the mid camps and then rotates to blue very, very quickly.
It's probably something coming out of rank that maybe something Enster or Wolfie has started doing for efficiency. Basically, leaving that red buff up can create a little bit more pressure in your lane, allowing you to get there quicker. But with the Raw and Mercury early clear, it's definitely fast enough to stay competitive with Vulcan. Fenrir in the solo lane. I think the clear advantage is going to be, I think it's going to be fairly even here. They've both got a good shot. And I think it's all about if User Dead can make use of his special delivery. And yeah, if Solana's turret can do the damage it needs to.
All about the turret. If the turret can stay alive and just keep throwing out damage on those minions, it will slowly push. Left-hand side, back into the duo lane. You can see a lot of aggression coming out once again from Hodor Esports. Good turn onto Maywood, uses the shield on himself. Going to try and absorb some of that poke down. But as you'd expect in this early game, Rama going very aggressive and puts pressure. Nice action on King though in response.
Yeah, nice hail of arrows too, but running low on mana on that lure, which is such a problem with the character. He's so mana intensive. Taking a look at the middle lane, Yaman has a lot of space control and snacking, just auto-attacking, will flame wave and not dashing to clear.
Actually, Vulcan's going to be okay there. I expected him to try and go aggressive left-hand side, though. Aggression one more time. Looks like Athena's waiting for some trying to put more pressure on. Not use the taunt there on that one. Just charged in. Keep the poke going. Both junglers now returning to their respective jungles. And you can see that Yami on that Giannis is actually sharing some experience off with Getfisher in the jungle to allow him to get level 5 a little bit quicker and snacking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Yaman was sort of the character or the player relied on to carry the game. He's very strong in mid. Dash in the left-hand side once again onto Arn King. Will get his jump interrupted, use it nonetheless, and actually I think big rotation, the portal's coming through. Will not connect with through space and time onto their target of Rama, but Brutalize isn't broken easily. Lots of damage there, no kill, but it might be enough pressure to secure mid camps.
That's right. I mean, if Fisher was level 5 there on that Fenrir, he probably would have been able to bring him down with the Ragnarok and pick him up overall. Red buff going to be taken by him now. And you can see Yami rotate back into mid lane and soak up most of the experience. Didn't miss too much from the rotation. Right hand side checking in with Solana and Tins in this lane. You can see that Tins is doing a good job of pushing this lane out. I expect mainly a farm lane out of this one, realistically. Like we said about Raw, he's very safe, so he can just push down this wave and play safe if he needs to.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to lose lane on Raw. In the middle lane, User Dead is level 5 and Getfisher only level 4. Should be hitting level 5 soon. There is mid camps coming up. The question is, where will the contention be? Left hand side. Looks like Hodor Esports are gonna pick this one up. No problem. So just a 1-for-1 camp trade. Hodor Esports is doing quite well and have managed to secure a small advantage for themselves. But more importantly, they just haven't really given anything up yet to that early Yanis rotation.
I mean, the big thing is really this is the round of 16 now, Cret, and this is where the teams start to, you know, be able to survive a lot longer and make it a competitive game overall. And Hodor Esports looking pretty good during the early stages. The rotations have been good. They've done well with the leveling, and right now you can see they've got a very small lead in golden experience. It's pretty much nothing, but that does show that this game is pretty even at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that lead is just basically the few creeps given up by Yanis and Fenrir in their rotation on the left-hand side. First blood is going to be a big decider. But with Fenrir's ultimate online and Mercury's ultimate online, there's a lot of potential for that first blood. Not as much in the mid lane as Yanis is really good at getting out of tough situations, as is Agni. But solo lane or duo lane could be a really hot spot for these two junglers.
Oh, solo for sure. I mean, if you think about the fact the Earthshaker from Vulcan with the Ragnarok combo from Fenrir, that's just confirmed damage if you can just sit them still, keep them pinned in it. So keep an eye on that. Already, though, we can see Tint hasn't picked up Beej yet. Did rush the Warlock Sash at the start, so that paid off for him now because he's already stacking at 4 minutes in the game. But a rotation coming out from Fisher. Gonna look for the aggression. There's the brutalized damage. He's going to slow him down, though, thanks to the blind coming out. Here's a rotation through space and time as well from Yami. A little bit late to the party, doesn't find the pick he was looking for. Going to be late on that one, so that ultimate's going to be in cooldown for the time being.
But that's fine, right? Because the thing about Yanis is, while his ultimate is an amazing rotation tool, it doesn't actually reduce his threat in the lane. So Agni can't play more aggressive because of that. I mean, I guess it does remove an escape tool that could be useful against Mercury, but it's not like Yanis is any less likely to get a kill.
5 minutes in, still no first blood on the cards just yet. Will it go as long as we saw in the Pro League the other day when I think it was 12 minutes before first blood in one of the EU games? So it might end up going that way as well, but then after that it did spiral. Mid-camp's coming up in about a minute and a half, so keep an eye on that left-hand side. Some aggression again as the taunt lands onto Maywood. He's being poked down again. The roll in from Jermaine, looking for more aggression. Axe does not connect this time. Very low mana. Fisher is here, but he is on a ward, so they're going to see him rotate round and immediately back away.
Both junglers mirroring each other there. Mid-camp's coming up in about 30 seconds. Yeah, Fisher in the middle lane will mean that Snacking has to back off, but here comes Mercury changing that dynamic. Double rotation over the right-hand side. Looks like we might be having some stasis mode issues.
Yeah, if in doubt, stasis mode it up. 6 minutes in. Got a bit of an issue at the moment, guys. We'll just wait here and watch them all run on the spot for a few seconds, see if it picks itself up. As we can see, this is the general moonwalk that you like to see from the teams coming out as the mid-camp spawn, and the sparkles from Ra on your screen right now. You should be able to see Vulcan's turret sparkling beautifully at the moment as Fenrir in the jungle does his impression of an actual reindeer over and over and over again.
And
there we go.
Looks like it seems to have worked itself out.
That's how we do things in EU. We sit and wait. We sit and wait and things get worked out. So, continuation on. Mercury going to rotate round into 3 members here. Might have to actually use that Sonic Boom to get away, and he does do so. Hits Fenrir as Fenrir was leaping in. But mid-camp's on the left while that's happening. Goes to Hodor Esports. Maywood a little bit late to that one. Going to be aggressed on from the taunt, and they're snacking there with some nice damage onto him. The shield's going to buy him some time. Has to use the Cataclysm as well to try and deal some damage and get himself out of trouble. Rollouts used there through space and time. Fired off. Snipes from the sky. Is he going to try and find it? He finds one. He doesn't find enough damage for the finish him off, though. Meanwhile, we do get a kill.
Yeah, so what happened was Maywood spent too much time juking and not enough time running away, but now Mercury will have to give his life for that kill. At the very least, it's going to be an assist. Let's take a look here. No assist on the board. Get Fisher not able to get close enough. And did you see if he used Brutalize or Unchained there?
I did not.
So,
back into running on the spark.
Fun little facts about the way assists work when people die to towers. If you can get in range for an assist, you get something called an unshared assist, which only exists when a structure gets a kill, or a minion. I actually think it's only structures get a kill and you're in range, where it's an assist that isn't shared with anyone else, so it actually is like 80% of a kill. So dying in a tower, still better than just giving Get Fisher a kill.
Yeah.
And, you know, because there's no assist, it totally doesn't matter. But if Get Fisher did try a little bit harder to get that assist, he actually would have gotten a nice sum of money.
Well, this is really good for Hodor Esports, though, Crown Paper. I mean, coming into this one, we recognise the names from Team Vulcan. You know, we've seen them around before. Honestly, Hodor Esports, I've seen them in the SWC a couple of weeks. I've seen the team name on the roster. I don't know the players that well myself, but right now they're playing this one very, very well. And with the team composition they've got on paper, they're looking very, very strong here.
Yeah, I mean, if Mercury can get going in any game, he can be a big threat. The question I want answered is the build, and that's something that will be decided in, I want to say, 3 or 4 minutes. The next item should be Hidden Dagger. It could be a Jones, but in the right hand side, Ra is going to be able to immune Getfisher's ultimate. Getfisher in a lot of trouble. Solana tries to drop the damage, but here comes Athena, and a lot of damage coming out into Vulcan. We're hitting stasis mode again, guys.
Guys, what we're going to do quickly is we're just going to pause the game for a minute just to allow stasis mode to catch up. What this generally means, stasis mode, if you don't know, is because we're watching a live replay, it just buffers a little bit when we're actually up to date with the game. So if we pause for a minute or two, come back to this one, we'll stop all these issues we're having on your stream for you right now. And we'll be right back shortly after this very little quick clip of Monster Cat. Welcome back, guys. We're back here with Hodor Esports versus Team Vulcan. Apologies for the delays. As you can see, we're about to resume the action, and in the jungle you can see that Agni's going aggressive on Yami. Can he survive? That's the question on everyone's lips right now. He's going to turn around and go aggressive here, looking to chase down Snacking. He looks like he's out of bombs, but the rotation coming out from Hodor Esports here could pay off for him as Yami's going to get caught out with the shield, and Yami's damaged from the vortex immediately into a portal through the wall. There's a Cataclysm going to buy him some more time from Maywood. Now Vulcan's trying to rotate round, eats a major look to the face, backs out himself. Great turnaround from Team Vulcan.
2 words: beads reset. That was perfect timing from Yemen to get out of there. But on the right hand side, Solana's getting dove under the tower. We'll take damage from that shield wall, but turn some around of it onto Dardez. Solana will be okay, opting to stay in wave, dropping the turret and immediately losing it. Will recall. No, will stay, because Getfisher's in the jungle. It looks like the recall's coming out from Hodor Esports. They're not going to try and push the tower. They know the rotation's coming back in, so they're just going to let Solana get that farm freely. And mid camps are coming up very soon.
They are. Left hand side will spawn slightly quick, and you can see both teams in position to contest this one. Good portal into a vortex. Half health for user dead. Yami was already at half health, so contesting this, he's got to be careful here overall. The hog goes down. Maywood gets down. Yami's the one being focused. Great shield again. Down the damage is going on to the Geb, who gets taunted out, but user dead getting very low. The snipes were great on King and managed to secure user dead, who dropped low, and now the hunters trade, and immediately Ulz having none of it, backs away from that. Fisher, space and time, gets fired off. Not going to find a connection there. 2 for 2. Another pickup in favor of Team Vulcan.
Yeah, nice play from Vulcan, bringing it back and now finding in it, well, a lead, a small one in terms of gold, but a huge lead in terms of experience, sitting at nearly 3,000, which they have gained over the past 2.5 minutes. I'm actually not sure how they got 2,000, 3,000 experience over 2.5 minutes.
I'm pretty surprised. I guess it's just going to come down to farming overall, because that's what it really is with the score being even no Gold Fury down. I think they've shared every mid camp as well, Kret, so it seems that way as time's gone on. It's just coming down to farming in the lanes overall. Getfisher coming mid though, looking for Snacking. Not aware of this just yet. He will be now. Path of Flames. I'm expecting a Ragnarok, and there it is. Gets popped straight into the beads though. Nice work from Snacking. A good stun. No, he was late on the stun, or was he late enough? That's the question. A trade? Not going to be a trade. Getfisher lives, but there's a sonic boom from user dead. He finds one. He's looking for Yami, but Yami's got portals. Through the portal he goes, and that's all she wrote. 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
Yemen making good use of those beads again. I love the decision to get early beads 3 up against Mercury. Those sonic booms have been absolutely destructive. Special delivery is really painful as well. And this Hodor Esports team is so reliant on crowd control that it's helping out a lot. Mercury's still hovering in the mid lane. Maywood just making sure that Yemen can farm in safety. Over in the solo lane, level 13 to level 13, Vulcan's turret still not quite staying alive, but looking at the builds, Warlock Sash versus Thoth. One player trying to stay alive, and one player just wants to do damage.
Just wants to do damage. Indeed, Gold Fury has been warded up by Maywood with that sentry ward there, so he's going to have good vision of that. I apologise, no, that's Hodor Esports that have a sentry down at the Gold Fury, so they're the ones with general control of this area right now, which is very important. More and more teams start to realise how important sentry wards can be for getting full control of the map, Kret.
Oh yeah, incredibly important, because wards give you vision. Sentry wards remove your opponent's vision, and it create areas where you know your opponents don't have information. Very, very useful, very important. Just to highlight the difference between these two teams, once more, they're tied up in kills. The gold is even, but when it comes to levels, you've got 1 level advantage for Germain on Rom, 1 level advantage for User Dead on Mercury. The solo laners are even Ra and Vulcan. But Geb is up 2 levels over Athena, and Yanis is up 2 levels over Agni. So the level difference is about 2 in favor of Team Vulcan.
I think you say that, but they just took the left-hand camps, did the Agni and Athena, the ones who are technically behind right now. If they can get to the right-hand camp, that'd be great for him as well. Does he get a portal to the face? The Vortex a little bit too late. Oh. Left-hand side, though, Onking caught out of position here, has to run away from User Dead, trying to rotate to mid lane for the cover from Maywood. Space and time does not connect, but that Major Look did, and Onking gets knocked down to half health. Nothing more going to come of that one, but Onking needs to watch himself as they're really trying to go aggressive on him.
Yeah, Mercury is just looking for blood all game long, trying to really flex his muscles in the early game. Looks like he's going to be going to either Rage or Deathbringer here. So looking for more of a carry Merc style, not opting for that golden bow. Getfisher is going into an Urchin, so trying to be a little bit more utility focused. And I want to take a quick look at that Ullr build. Getting a Transcendence, which is actually a pick up I quite like on Ullr, because you have unlimited mana on a character that uses a lot of mana.
Hold that right hand side. Getfisher going aggressive, looks for the leap onto User Dead. Not going to find it though, and now Tin's going to try and slow him down with that blind. There's the heals coming out one more time. Got a rotation coming out from Yami as well as Agni and Athena looking at this option as well. See if anything's going to happen from this. Nothing is. And everyone's just going to go back to playing safe again as the blue buff gets taken down. This game's going backwards and forwards. The only difference right now, really, Crit, is that 3,000 experience gap that's just coming down from Team Vulcan managing to farm. But Gold Fury started.
Yeah, Gold Fury pulled by 2 members, but not 2 members that can kill it particularly fast. So we're just going to be able to rotate over and stop that. Yanis will be able to clear the middle lane. I love how Yamin has been threatening rotations all game long, by which I mean he's not afraid to just walk in the jungle, be halfway between mid lane and solo or duo and be like, all right, if you do anything, I can rotate to it easily.
Immediately. Yeah, he's done it right from the outset. The moment he had his ultimate, he's been threatening it time and time again. Getfisher on this Fenrir hasn't really managed to find anything. He did get one Ragnarok off in mid, but instantly beads out. Look at this rotation left, though. Looks like Yamin and Getfisher are going to look for a rotation down onto Dardez, but they have an idea. This is coming on immediately back away. The call from Agni was good. Agni's just base now, no, and the pings have just gone down onto the Gold Fury. However, don't look like they're going to rotate there for now. Looks like Fisher's looking for something mid one more time. Going to find User Dead in the jungle in a second, who's channeling that Sonic Boom still. They realize they're not doing Gold Fury, and the panic subsides for now.
I like how User Dead just sort of walks through the jungle with his ult channel just in case. I think that's a really, I think that's just really safe play coming out. Ullr will recall in the duo lane, looking to finish up those Devil Gloves and get that double stack build online. He can do a lot of damage late game. I mean, Transcendence can be 85, 95 physical power even. Devos is 60. He's going to have a lot of lifesteal there, so Ullr's 3-1 combo is going to hit hard.
Well, left-hand camps once again going to go over to Hodor Esports before Team Vulcan can get in a position to contest. However, talking about Vulcan, he's starting to push back against this Ra now that he's been under the tower for quite a lot of time here. There's a meatball that doesn't land, the backfire doesn't either. However, he's starting to push Tins out of lane a little bit more now that that Book of Toth is really starting to pay off for him.
And this is going to be a Gold Fury rushdown from Team Vulcan. Athena's on the way. She's going to already use her dash, but the Gold Fury is already down. And Fenrir is just so good at taking Gold Furies. He can tank them. He's got lifesteal. He's fairly tanky. Just really good play from Team Vulcan.
It was good communication as well, because Fisher dropped his hog and immediately straight after Maywood used his to secure it. They also get the tier 1 tower on the right hand side as well, so that's going to give them the gold boost. They already had an experience lead, and now it's slowly starting to go in Vulcan's favor. Hodor Esports are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination, but they need to pick up on this farm.
Yeah, this is the kind of mid-game advantage that allows you to transition into late game a few minutes ahead of your opponent. Maybe 2 minutes, right? You finish up your items that really begin the start of the late game. So Pen Boots for Arn King, probably the Thoth for Yamin, which is finished, and the Obsidian Shard for Solana. Maybe a few more actives as well, and then Team Vulcan can really start to look for objectives, look for towers, and really start to close out the game. They're in a good spot. They had some trouble early. It was 2-0 before Team Vulcan knew it hit them, but they pulled it back. And
oh, right hand side, Tins is in trouble, going to get aggressed on again as Fisher finally rotates and finds himself a kill, breaking the deadlock at 3-3, now going in favor. Fisher does get a good rotation off. There was a ward there, but I don't think he saw it. I
Yeah,
just
you know
guessing
what?
didn't see
The
it.
ward didn't cover the path because Getfisher probably just walked by the blue and ward wouldn't see that. So that's honestly that little block on both sides just makes warding impossible. It's really frustrating.
Well, it does give a lead now to Team Vulcan in terms of kills as well as everything else they were already in the lead of now. And things start to play. I mean, the thing about this sort of level of team here, Craig, that we're seeing, you know, the round of 16, we're
Yeah.
starting to see the teams that have the skill to be able to play at a high level. It's just working on the communications and teamwork and making the right call at the right time, I feel, is the only real difference between them and some of the pro teams we see on a weekly basis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe the other thing is God Pool, you know, where maybe these teams are a little bit more focused, but that's time. Blink in on the left-hand side. Cataclysm is going to come out. Jermaine uses beads and rolls away immediately. Looking at the rank of the beads, rank 1, that's a good trade.
Yeah, well, Getfisher's still over here, so he's Yamin. He's looking to possibly go aggressive on this. They know his beads are down. I guess they want to try and use the Ragnarok if possible. Chasing around, trying to look for a rotation. Now, the brutalized chase onto Agni through the Path of Flames forces out the Athena ultimate, but that should give them control of those mid-camps on the left-hand side and force an ultimate and a beads for just the Cataclysm.
Yeah, really a nice play there from Team Vulcan. The question is, what can they do off of it? That right camp isn't spawning for some time, and I don't think they realize it. Left camp is online here, but Hodor Esports could be in trouble. Fender's coming around the left-hand side, and remember, this is kind of a support-focused Fender with that heavy hammer. Yaman's rotating through. Dardas will dash away. Ragnarok is still available, but he's holding it. He wants to target that he knows he can lock in, and Rama's exactly that. Brutalize should be used to get a little bit closer. There it is. Ram is going to go up in the air.
Oh, that's a wasted Ragnarok, I think, from Fisher, because I think he's going to run out before he's going to land. It's 6 seconds in the air of time. There you go, the Ragnarok's down. Now the turnaround is available. Yami has to go through the portal to get himself to safety. Maywood came in there. Nothing comes out of this, and that's a big rotation from both teams for a massive team fight that if someone won, they would have only got a tower out of it, maximum.
Looking at the alts, we've got Vulcan alt and Uller alt online versus Agni alt and Ra alt. So I want to say it's fairly even. That Ram alt just sitting up there was such a good play, so intelligent from Jermaine, and definitely did keep him alive. I honestly wasn't expecting it to outlast Ragnarok because of just how long that ability can last for, but I guess it does. In the middle lane, Yamin, he's kind of low on health, and Agni's a little bit higher, but he'll be able to clear this from range and probably just head back to base rather soon.
I mean, Fisher did proc it a little bit earlier. That's why I think it lasts about the same sort of time, if I'm correct, of the Ragnarok and the ultimate from Rom. So I think it lasts about the same time, but with him doing it just beforehand, he wasn't able to find it because of the immunity as well coming out from Rama as he goes into that ultimate. So still 4-3. Gold lead of 3,000 in favour of Team Vulcan. That generally has come down to just a Gold Fury in that one tower overall. The experience lead of 5,000, though, is down to farming overall. Team Vulcan have done a good job of making sure they've been around when every single minion has died, and that's what's given them this small experience lead across the map.
Definitely. Nice sentry ward placement pinged out by Hodor Esport. I love sentries that aren't just on the Gold Fury and the Fire Shine, as you mentioned before. Speaking of the Gold Fury, that sentry's going to get taken down by Geb. Gold Fury spawns right about now, and that's probably going to be the next objective contested. The 21-minute mark has hit, and I want to say we're officially in the late game.
How did he spot that ward?
I have absolutely no idea. Oh, you know what? There's a ward on their Gold Fury.
Oh, it's under the Gold Fury.
Yeah. Cheeky.
Sneakerino Gold Fury. So you have to pull the Gold Fury to be able to get that ward as well if you're going to go for it. Wasn't spotted out overall, but now Hodor Esports have the control around that Gold Fury. They've done pretty well in terms of objectives. They're going to start this one off. There's no vision here right now for Team Vulcan. They should have an inkling though, because the dual lanes Mr. Fish is going to come around the back, and Dardes is going to be aware of that straight away. As we go into a stasis mode, did you go into stasis mode as well?
Yeah, I went into stasis mode as well. We're gonna pause. We're gonna give it a few minutes, guys, and we'll be back pretty soon.
Monster Cat, go! Welcome back, guys. Hodor Esports versus Team Vulcan. We're going to carry this one on. We rewound a few seconds, so you didn't miss any of the action. The Gold Fury was just started. Get Fisher comes around the back. They were aware of it, so they back off. But what happens next? What happens next? Well, they're disengaged from both teams. I'm so disappointed. I expected a big fight, Cret, and nothing happened.
That was a really good flank, and honestly, I don't know why Get Fisher didn't just grab up Athena and start something. But that's not the call that Team Vulcan made, so it looks like the waiting game will continue. Gold Fury is pulled and reset just so they can get the ward underneath. Some damage from Hail of Arrows. Yaman trying to poke through the wall. Both teams are posturing, but it doesn't feel like anybody wants to go in. And this is just the sort of situation where the players need to think, all right, what's our call to go in? What are we waiting for? What are we looking for? That's the Gold Fury pull once again. Fenrir's really good for tanking this with his steroid.
He wants some zoning duty here, but he is the Gold Fury hog as well. So they've got to be careful with this one. The Gold Fury is getting low, and there's aggression from Get Fisher as a Cataclysm's in before he can go fully aggressive on Jermaine. The big Vulcan only going to connect with one, but it was one enough for Hodor Esports to take the Gold Fury. Solano takes out Snacking, and Ragnarok is popped, forcing Dardes to the back line. He's going to get brought down. The snipes were good onto Get Fisher. Not enough to kill him, though, as he goes 6-3. The fight goes to Vulcan. The Gold Fury goes to Hodor.
The call needs to be either a tower. Honestly, it should be Fire Giant. They can actually just do Fire Giant here. It looks like the call is going to be the mid tower. Mercury's in the area. His Sonic Boom has already been used, and it looks like 2 towers, which honestly is going to be fine. Inner towers are 1,500 gold for the team. Outer towers are 500. So despite the gold tree steal, Team Vulcan is still going to come out on top here. They have to be a little bit careful and probably will back off after that point. It was a good fight. 2-for-0. Didn't get the Gold Fury. They didn't quite respect the CC from Hodor Esport, and they needed to go for the reset once Agni flanked and committed to that fight.
I mean, as you can see by the graphs that should be coming on your screen now, you can see the gold difference did jump back to make it a little bit more even for Hodor Esports, but immediately those 2 towers that they just picked up and that extra farm in all the lanes that they got because they got a few more kills just put Vulcan in the lead and further ahead than they were before the Gold Fury fight. So even though it didn't go in favor of Team Vulcan, they do come out on top of that one. And now we're going to wait around again. So ward coverage from Raw comes down around the Fire Giant now. They're very scared of the Fire Giant attempt coming out from these 2 now.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Giant's definitely something to be worried for, and Fenrir's going to start doing a lot of damage to that FG. Arn King going into his pen option. Get Fisher also has an Executioner, and now he's getting some crit, so I like this style from Get Fisher of defenses first, make sure that you can stay in the fight, make yourself a bruiser, and then build crit, then build damage, then get those auto attacks, which really is the way to work Fenrir later on, because Brutalize just doesn't hit quick enough. So it might do 1,200 damage over the duration, which is a lot, but it's 4 seconds where any target you're up against.
Arn King's in a lot of trouble as Jermaine chases him down. Going to use the ultimate, but Yami's here underneath him. If he doesn't find the snipes, he's going to cost him a big. He does find one snipe. The Vortex misses. There's the Athena ult immediately. Yami's having to use through space and time not to escape, to try and deal damage back. I don't think that was the call. He did a portal though thanks to beads. Gets through the wall. Gets himself out of trouble, but it's a 1-for-0 trade in favor of Hodor Esports. Meanwhile, Team Vulcan hanging around this Fire Giant.
The Team Vulcan's in the area, but they can't really do it on the right-hand side. Fenrir's just trying to clear the wave. Needs to respect Mercury, who has hit that 2-item timing of the Deathbringer Rage. Solana on Vulcan is starting to hit rather hard as well, but he's not really connecting with those abilities. Or rather, we haven't seen huge connections just yet. Left tower in trouble, and Yaman can't really hold this. I think this actually is going to be a tower kill. No, Jermaine might been tanking it a bit too long. Looks like the tower will go down on the left. That's a nice portal, but Yaman doesn't have the damage, and that will be the tower on the right hand side. 3 members of Team Vulcan, but what are they actually doing?
Well, they're hanging around trying to go for the Fire Giant if possible, but the nice positioning from Hodor Esports, honestly, with 2 members still there, is too much for them to try and bring down the Fire Giant in good time. Tier 2 town on the left does stand barely any amount of HP, just 1 auto attack will kill that. Space and time gets fired off by Yami looking for a snipe, doesn't find it onto the Dardes, who's now going to recall back to base. Mid camps on the left hand side did go down to Team Vulcan. Right hand side, they're due to spawn any moment now, and Fisher is in position to take those if he so requires to. 4-6 now. The game's starting to open up a little bit more, but neither team has a full-on lead where you can say they're looking good for the win.
I think Team Vulcan needs to make use of their through space of time and make a positional play on the Fire Giant, right? Bait over the left-hand side, port over the right, take the FG. We've already seen how much auto attack damage they have on deck. and I think they have a lot of options. Well, and also there's the turret from Vulcan, which is really high DPS, so this Fire Giant could die very, very quickly. Hodor Esports is staying in the area. They're hovering around, taking down the turret there.
We're going to see Mercury looking for the ultimate onto this Ul again, and Rama alongside him with Athena being available with the ultimate. If they land this could be a free pickup. A tier 2 tower will drop for sure if it does happen. Mercury's thinking about it. He's looking at his options. He's channeling the ultimate. There's the ultimate. Does connect. The beads are used. He's leaping over the wall. They can't chase him through that.
Right now.
But the FG has been caught, like you said, from Vulcan. And it looks like they're trying to get in position. But they've got a sentry ward to deal with.
There it is. Okay.
They clear the sentry ward. Now they start it off. Athena's already here. Tier 2 tower on the left goes down. Arm King recalling to base. Vulcan with the ultimate to zone out for now, but Dardez goes in deep. Can he manage to steal? That's the question. He's still up. Vulcan gets the Fire Giant. Dardez is still tanking the front line up. Eats a meatball to the face. Vulcan get out, lose the tier 2 tower that was pretty much already dead, but get the Fire Giant buff online for them. Meanwhile, mid, split push.
Right, so Hodor Esports going to get as much as they can while they have the opportunity, but through space and time creates a little bit of a flanking opportunity. Getfisher's going to go in and blink in with the shockwave. Doesn't connect the way he wants it to. Unstable Vortex. Team Vulcan couldn't quite get the engage they wanted there. They're just going to grab the Gold Fury up effectively for free. Hodor Esports doesn't want to take this fight. It's just a straight 5v5 with FG. It could be really, really rough, but if they get the crits, maybe.
Ra just getting there. Athena goes in, taunts onto 2 members, but most of the make it rains down from Agony as he tried to poke. Nice crit from the Major Look coming out from Mercury there, but there's nothing more they can really get from that. Gold Fury goes to Team Vulcan. It's going to extend their lead to 3,000 gold, which was cut thanks to those towers. Experience though 5.6k, and they're all going to group on this left-hand side. 4v5 right now.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tower for sure. Some poke coming out from Agni. Ra healing up his team. Honestly, I think Team Vulcan needs to just leverage their Fire Giant and hard engage here. Hodor Esports, they're ready to take this 5v5 fight, and I respect that, but I think it should go to Vulcan just because of the gold lead and the Fire Giant buff. I mean, they're just stronger. That's the Cataclysm to engage, and you know, Athena could be in a lot of trouble here, taking damage, getting low. Vulcan doesn't quite connect. Sonic Boom coming back in. Getfisher takes damage, and he's going to be able to get his Ragnarok off to get out of tower. Will stay alive, but Arn King taking a lot of damage. Jumps a wall. Will get sniped out by Rom. Agni's going to be safe. Solana is high health, but hasn't been able to really clean up any of his kills. And yeah, it's a 1-for-1.
Hodor Esports have the chance to continue the aggression if they want to. Everybody's very low. Jermaine going to tumble in, look for the damage onto Solaru, but he's a big vortex to the face from Yami, and Yami's going to drop him through a portal and pick up the kill for the turnaround. Very brave from Vulcan, but they're using that Fire Giant to regen and go aggressive again. Getfisher going to chase down. Has he got the Brutalize? That's the question. Yami comes through a portal to close the gap. The vortex does not connect, but now with the 4 members, they can start to assault, but Snacking is back. They've got no minions here. They're trying to backdoor again. Fisher is back to full health again after recalling back to base. Tower drops, aggression continues, and that turret hit plus the backfire force is Snacking away for now. 5-8, Vulcan do get the tier 2.
Nice play there from Getfisher, able to sustain up in the jungle with that health, giving him so much lifesteal. Come back in, tank the tower, take it down. Great use of that steroid. Crit online for, ooh, actually a Transcendence from Getfisher. So Transcendence is going to give him 22 physical power from the stacks, and the rest is just coming out of his current mana pool, which, looking at it really quick, is gonna be 1500. So that's what, 45 plus 22? That's a lot.
Some damage. That's some damage.
A lot of damage.
Fire Giant's still online on Team Vulcan for 4 members of the team for now. They're trying to start setting up the ward. They got Fire Giant already as Dardez with the early wards down, ready for that one starting again. I expect them to look to try and take down this last tier 2 tower as Getfisher catches Tins in the jungle here. Going to be able to blind him, but at the same time, Fisher's going to pop the Ragnarok chase on. Facts of the shield going to allow him to be able to cleanse that blind as well at the same time. Now Fisher tanks up a tower shot. Nothing more comes from it as Dardez loses his Medjais to the knock-up from Maywood. 4 members here. Vulcan going to rotate in. I expect one more fight this time round, and if Hodor Esports don't make this one happen better, it's going to be a big issue.
They did get Arnkeen last time, which is definitely one of those priority targets when the FG buff is down. but Arnking's not taking that much damage from Agni just yet, and gonna need bigger, more solid connections coming out from Hodor Esports. Fisher's gonna be able to get in the tower, but he gets very low. Sonic Boom coming through, and Agni will find the kill. Disengage seems to be called from Vulcan, but they're kind of split here. Nice kill onto User Dead through space and time, coming back through and doing some pretty good damage. And now Vulcan's just gonna play the kiting game, which is exactly what he excels at. Just walk backwards, place the turret to zone, but Arnking's taunted forward, and he's walking out of position. Heelless drop, Snipe goes through, will not connect. Yanis, sneaky Yanis waiting through the portal. He's gonna fly on Unstable Vortex, gets some really good damage here, and now this could be really big. Athena's gonna taunt in, but Arnking finds one. Maywood is waiting for Rom to land, lands the shockwave, but picks up the kill with the barbed arrow. Is Arnking slowed down by the threshold? Portal drops off the pass. Solana finds the kill, and that's going to be at least 2 Phoenixes, if not the game.
Well, they're going to go for the Phoenix now. The shield's on Solana, who's tanking it up as Storm right now. First Phoenix dropped to half. First Phoenix does go down. Are they going to look to just end or take the second Phoenix? That's the question. They're going to throw the ultimate onto the Titan and look to end this one. We're going to see Geb tank this up, but with Tins there, he can put out some damage, and that zoning from that heal's going to help a little bit. Maywood's getting very low, has to use the shield on himself. Yami gets low, but not low enough. Team Vulcan, 32 minutes in, that extended fight, the tier 2 tower was enough to secure them the game, move them on to the round of 8.
Moving on to the round of 8 is Team Vulcan, and we're moving on as well. Our match is going to be Upcoming Stars versus Ream Team. We'll be showing up with that in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned. We'll be back soon.